Hi everyone, today's guest is Divine G. He is the founder member of the Rehabilitation Through the Arts program, which is a charity that aims to help prisoners in the New York City's prison system to stay out of prison by rehabilitating them by using theatre as a form of therapy. He is also a award-winning novelist and screenwriter and is the subject of A24's film Sing Sing.
To die, to sleep, to dream.
This is a clemency hearing for your conviction, 25 to life. Since you've been in custody, you've been involved in a theater program.
All right, gentlemen, let's go.
It's been a program that was established to help people get more in touch with their feelings and truly get some rehabilitation.
I am Gladiator Goliath. I am Spartacus.
I'm Prince Hamlet of Denmark.
And it's turned into something of, I don't know, wonderful.
What part do you play?
From time to time I do act, like we all do.
So are you acting at all during this interview?
We here to become human again and enjoy the things that is not in our reality.
I think you guys are becoming real with each other, vulnerable.
Listen, I already know what you're doing, know who you are, what you about, bro.
What?
You don't get to tell me what I need in prison. You don't get to do that. And don't bring me in those dark corners no more.
The world expects brothers like you and I to walk in with our heads held down. Nah, what you gotta walk in like a king. Everything is yours.
I'm Divine now.
Yeah.
This is my theater.
Now give him some love, give him some love.
Go to your most perfect spot. Do you hear anything? Are you with somebody? Are you outside? Hold that feeling.
You gotta admit that I murdered that Hamlet thingy, bro. Shakespeare is in his grave right now. He rolled over.
You did your thing, beloved.
Hi Divine, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Derry. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
You're most welcome and thanks for joining me. It means a lot. So could you just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what Sing Sing is, and how the film came to be?
Sing Sing is a film that actually we've been working on this film for like 8 years. It's been an 8-year journey. And what had happened is after I was released and Clarence Macklin were released, RTA participants, we constantly kept in touch with each other. That's one of the criteria that we implement as far as RTA participants, we keep in communication. So Craig Quidar and Clint Bentley, they had came across an article about RTA. We had did a production in Sing Sing called Breaking the Mummy's Code, and it was some heavy media attention from Entertainment Weekly, New York Times, and so forth. So he did a little research, and then he, they came up with an idea to make a movie about this creative arts program that was keeping people out of prison. I mean, they did all of the research on the program, and more or less they had approached me and Divine I about a movie. And since in the past we had other individuals that approached us about a movie, we were kind of apprehensive initially until we actually sat down and spoke with them and saw that these individual particular movie makers were very serious about making a movie, and not just any ordinary stereotypical movie. They wanted to make a movie about the true essence of incarcerated individuals. And looking at their past productions, um, Transpico, Jockey, Rising Above the Ashes, I saw that they were very unique filmmakers that really focused on social issues, positive issues, constructive issues. They weren't about just the stereotypical type of movies. They wanted to have movies that had meaning and had essence, and that would in some instances make the world a better place. So yeah, we were very receptive. And like I said, it's been an 8-year process.
Could you just tell me what Sing Sing is and how you came to be there?
Sing Sing, as you may be aware, is it's a very famous prison in New York State. It's very popular in the sense that there were mostly back in history, mostly all of them gangsters went there. They had the electric chair there, old Sparky. So it's a very, very famous prison that been around for hundreds of years. And I ended up in Sing Sing because I was actually wrongfully convicted of a crime I didn't commit, a murder I didn't commit. And I found overwhelming evidence of my innocence and just could not get out. As you can see from the movie, it's a clemency hearing that I had. Governor Elliot Spitzer, actually took the time and actually considered that evidence and ordered me to appear before a special clemency hearing to consider me for a full pardon. I don't want to go into all of the intricate specific details of the overwhelming evidence of my innocence, because that would consume a show in and of itself. But there were like several pieces of overwhelming evidence that clearly exonerated me. And I've been telling everyone from day one, I didn't do it. And while at Sing Sing, after I found all this evidence of my innocence and just couldn't get out, guys came up with an idea, said, hey, let's do a play. So, a lot of individuals were apprehensive. A play in a maximum security prison, maximum security prisons don't, is not really geared toward, those type of social circumstances. But nevertheless, I was all in for it, because prior to me going to prison, I was into the world of entertainment. I was a DJ. I danced with a dance group called Realism. I actually made little karate movies when I was like, 11, because I was so fascinated with Bruce Lee. Loved Bruce Lee. I actually, when he died, I was traumatized. But in any event, I was always heavily into the entertainment. So when individuals made the proposition to me about, hey, let's do a play. And then we wanted to do a play that was a positive play that could inspire, the individuals in the population, the incarcerated individuals in the population. We figured that they would find it entertaining, and we could also use it as a teaching mechanism. Because, prisons are very rough environments, violence, and we were trying to come up with ways to inspire guys to do some positive stuff. So in a nutshell, finally, individuals said, yeah, all right, let's go for it. We did one production. It was called Reality in Motion. Total success. Population loved it. Administration loved it. It was keeping guys out of trouble. It was motivating other people to try to do some positive things based on the messages that were in the play. At that time, RTA didn't exist. Next, we did another play. It was called Night of Theater. Again, massive success. People loved it. The administration loved it. We were loving it because it was making us, it was very therapeutic for me, being in prison for something I didn't do, can't get out. And it just gave me a sense of hope, a sense of healing, a sense of just, for a better word, joy. It's like there's a part in the movie, and I'm quite sure you can recall, when there's a character Dino, he says that it makes us feel human again. Like the program, when you get in that program, it allows us to feel human again. Because in that place, especially in New York State, is a very draconian environment, barbaric, savage. I mean, there's violence, gangs and drugs, everything. So when you can get a program like that, that's about helping and healing and has love and compassion and helping and teamwork, and collaborative, and it's healing. So to make a long story short, we saw that these theater arts had a way of healing people and teaching people, because I was learning management skills, communication skills. I started writing because we had a playwriting course, and I ended up becoming a published author. So we saw the elements of this, and this is how we created RTA. That was the root of RTA. After those two successful productions, we said, man, we want to turn this into a program that helps people. And we've been very successful thus far.
That's really interesting. That's fantastic to hear. So, did you make friends when you did these plays? And for those who don't know, what is the RTA? And do you still have any involvement with them?
Absolutely. RTA is it's like a lifetime, brotherhood. It's like a lifetime. We describe ourselves as a family. We call it the RTA family, whether we're incarcerated or whether we're out of a prison situation. It's still a family oriented situation where every year we have a gala. Me personally, I make my rounds of making my calls to my fellow RTA participants. Some days I just get up and call everybody and check in on everyone. That's one of the elements that keeps individuals out of prison, because we keep a ongoing connection with each other even when we're out. But RTA, I mean, like I said, I made more than just friends. I feel that I made family members, extended family members for life. And the effectiveness of RTA is just we say you can look at the stats, because RTA, I'm quite sure you did the research. We have a recidivism level of 3%. In other words, participants who participate in RTA don't come back to prison. Thus far, only 3% of all those, and there's thousands of individuals who have been a part of RTA. RTA has been in existence since 1996. So we got, some decades on us now. So we've developed a strong traction. And when you compare this 3% to the 60% of the general population of formerly incarcerated individuals that come back to prison, it speaks volumes of the success of the program, and I often say that, we need, programs like this in more facilities. We should have it all across the whole country. And yes, RTA is just a spectacular program that I am 100% proud of being a founding member of. I'm one of the founding members. And as you can see in the movie, they emphasize that all throughout the movie.
Yeah, after watching the movie, I did some research into the RTA, and they're a really great charity, and keeping prisoners out of prison can only be a good thing for everyone, really. So, could you just tell me a little bit about the New York prison system?
I can, I'm speaking from a direct knowledge of it, because I spent 25 years in New York State, in various New York State prisons for a crime I didn't commit. So I can speak about the system. Unfortunately, most prisons are not really, prisons in and of itself is not geared for rehabilitation, even though they say they're correctional facilities. But when you get in those facilities, there's nothing really correctional about them. And in order for people to rehabilitate themselves, you have to really take an aggressive stance and do that yourself, because the prison systems are not really designed to do it. It's like the minute you come in the system, they just give you a number, throw you in a cell, throw you in here, and they very rarely give you any meaningful programs that can really help you grow and change. And the unfortunate reality, if you come in with like a sentence with 25 years, your first 2 decades in the system, they're not even looking at rehabilitation. They just house, they warehousing you, throw you in these places, and that's it. And you just sitting and, you just warehoused. And they do that, and I guess that has a money element to it. They don't start really focusing on reentries programs or heavily into the school stuff until you get real closer to your parole board. Then they kind of make it a requirement, like when you like about 2 years before you're about to appear before your parole board, then they start putting prerequisites on you. You have to have your high school diploma, you have to have this, you have to have certain programs, alternative to violence program. So to me, that's a clear indication that the mission of most correctional facilities is not really about transforming people, not really about correcting people, not really about rehabilitation. Because if that were the case, the minute they walked into the system, it would be all about trying to help these individuals be, to rid themselves of whatever difficulties they had that brought them in there. At RTA, that's what we do. We focus on healing individuals the moment they walk in, to incorporate them into a process of learning life skills, becoming better human beings, point blank and simple. That's the best way to probably sum that up, so that by the time when it's time for them to walk out, they have infused these healing and helping and compassionate behaviors into their just very existence. So it's not like they're, it's being forced upon them. It's like they embrace it. And when they walk out, they're less likely to recidivate.
All I can do really is reiterate how good it is and what a positive thing it is for prisoners, to be out of prison and be part of society and having friends and now having skills to move on with their lives. So my next question is, how much sort of involvement did you have with the filmmaking process?
Well, as the movie depicts, I'm the subject of the movie. Obviously, Colman Domingo portrays me in the movie. He plays me, John Divine G. Whitfield. So I'm obviously intricately involved in that aspect of the movie. I'm also an executive producer on this movie, and actually I contributed to almost every aspect of the movie. I'm also a co-writer. I assisted Greg, Clint, and Divine I, Brent, Buell. All of us participated in the writing aspect. The story, once again, is about my journey while at Sing Sing, grappling with a wrongful conviction. Also, I made a cameo appearance in the movie. I appear as the book fan, and I mentioned it to you, I believe, earlier. I appear in the movie signing an autograph of one of my books, asking myself to sign an autograph of my book. And in fact, that's an actual fact. I had several individuals approaching me about my autograph of a book I wrote called Money Grip. I had written, I was able to get 3 novels published: Money Grip, Baby Doll, and Enigma of Love. But Money Grip did so well, and that was the one book that I literally had like several individuals approaching me for an autograph. So that was a factual situation that we felt would be interesting to put in the movie. Me doing a small cameo, asking myself to sign an autograph book, and it was all based on fact. And I contributed to the casting. I contributed to virtually every aspect of the movie. Virtually everything. I was intricately involved. Another thing I want to put some real heavy emphasis on is that this is a very unique movie in a historical sense, because the finances of this movie, everybody on this movie is paid an equal rate. Everybody from Colman Domingo, Paul Racy, Sharon Washington, which, as you know, are Hollywood heavyweights. They even agreed to this rate. And this rate, the way it works is that everyone involved in this production, from the star all the way down to the cameraman, to the sound design individual or whoever, we get a equal pay rate. The only difference that makes a difference is the time that you do. So if you do 8 hours, there's 8. If you do 2, you get 2 for 2. But the rating for everybody is equal all down the line. And everyone involved in the movie has equity in the movie. We have a percentage in the movie. And the reason we did this is because we wanted to make the movie cohesive and then similar to how RTA operates. RTA is a program that's about, it's a collaborative process. It's a community-based process. It's a program about bringing together people, and everyone is being treated equally and fairly. There's no big I's and little U's in RTA, and we put great emphasis on that. And that whole healing and that community and teamwork building component is what made RTA so successful, to the point that we can say we have a 3% recidivism level. Because when people come into our program, they understand that this program is about humans helping humans. And if you can't get with that program, then you're in the wrong place. But the beauty about RTA is that when people come in, they eventually gravitate to that. It's a process. Don't get me wrong. You know, you get some people that come in that's more of a challenge than others, and we have to work a little harder to bring them into the folds of the familyhood and the community and the building. But over time, you will be amazed some of the transformations you can see through art. It's just a powerful instrument.
So why do you think theatre has the ability to help people?
Me personally, I think the reason why creative arts are so powerful, first of all, I genuinely believe that the creative arts is an explosive expression of humanity. It's like when you have like music, dance, art, singing, writing, and people coming together, and they're coming together in a context of joy and pleasure, and you know, people want to be there. So I think that when you use a process that brings people together for joy, for helping, and for entertaining, and for, you know, bringing out good qualities of emotions and energy, I think that it just has this universal impact on all humans. And when you use it in such a way as a teaching mechanism, it's like you make learning very fun. Because when we do our theatrical plays, and we on the stage entertaining individuals, and it's a reciprocal process. The audience is being entertained and they're happy. We're, you know, happy because we're there entertaining them. So I just think it just has this healing, this universal healing element that humans just adapt to.
Yeah, it definitely does appear that way. So there's a lot of Oscar buzz around Sing Sing. You must be really excited about that. I know I would be. So I've been reading on the internet that, you know, Sing Sing could be nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor in a Leading Role for Colman Domingo, Best Supporting Actor for Divine Eye, Best Adapted Screenplay. It must be really exciting times for you. What do you think about all this praise?
I'm very, very excited. I mean, it just feels so good to have a positive message that we've always wanted to share this with the world. I mean, my mission, I can speak for myself, was that one of the phrases I used in RTA quite frequently when I spoke with Brent Buell, and he's Paul Racy's character. Oh man, I love this guy. He's like, I call him my civilian road dog. You know, me and we're very, very close. We had a, and you know, and his passion is just amazing. He's probably one of the best human beings you can find on the planet, because he goes out as, he's just a lovable guy. He goes out his way to help everybody. You just can't say no. And I guess me and him have that in common, because if people come to me and ask for help, it's like it's almost impossible for me to say no. It's like, and I've come to realize that I'm a natural born helper. That's it. That's who I am. And he's a natural born helper. And I guess on the planet, there's a whole lot of us out there, because you got people right now that if they see a problem going on in a distant country somewhere, they'll jump right on the plane and go out there and help. And that's how the universe works. They got natural born helpers. But I can say that I'm totally elated by the fact that we are up for Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay. I've even read some other reviews where we have Best Original Song with Dryson, with the we got also the best what they said, the best score. So it's quite a few categories that's coming up, and it's almost breathtaking, and it feels really good because at least society is looking at certain films that have a healing aspect that promotes humanity. I think theatrical arts should really be used to bring people together. And looking at America with all the dissension and all of the, the dividedness, I think we need movies like this that promotes hope and healing. And we really need some hope in this day and time because things are just not as they should be. I mean, and I'm quite sure we can agree with that. There's wars going on, Ukraine and Russia and, Israel and Palestine. I mean, it's just so much war and despair and pain and suffering and trials and tribulations. I think a movie like this is healthy because it brings humanity, hope, healing, even humor. Humor, as they say, is good for the soul. And as you see in Sing Sing, it weeds some humor in there. So yes, I mean, it feels very good that we're being considered for these Oscars. And I'm hoping and praying that we win as many of them as possible.
I hope so too. I think it's a really great film, and I really think people should seek it out and watch it. Because it's a film as well that's not really recognised by the Academy that often, and it's just a really great story, great human story, very uplifting as well. So my next question is, you mentioned earlier in the interview that you like Bruce Lee movies. So, do you like cinema? What are some of your favourite films?
Oh man, I'm a movie buff. I always loved movies. As I mentioned to you earlier, when I was young, I was truly fascinated with Bruce Lee, and I used to make little 8mm karate movies, me and my friend Frank Johnson. So I've loved movies. I've always been fascinated with them. And that was one of the things that inspired me to become a writer because through writing, it's like almost creating movies and creating entertainment from a cinema standpoint. In fact, every novel I've ever written, I adapted them into screenplays, with the exception of Baby Doll. I haven't adapted that one into a screenplay yet. But currently, right now, I have 8 published novels that I published through my entertainment company, Divine G Entertainment. It's 8 novels, and all 8 of them are, well, not all of them, but I converted them into screenplays. But my best movie, you know what, Dreary, it's kind of really hard to say that because I just love so many movies. Yeah. And I've been asked this question time and time and time again. It's just so many good ones. It's just almost impossible to just have one. I might can rattle off 10.
No, it's one of those questions that is just really hard for film fans. It's hard to sometimes even list your top 100 favourite films. So I totally get where you're coming from, because some days, you might fancy a comedy, another day you might fancy a drama, or you might want to watch a film that you've seen before because you loved it so much, or you might want to seek out something new. It's just such a...
Love the Titanic. It almost had me in tears, and it was a love story. Like I said, I'm a buff for love stories. Titanic is one of my top 10. I have a list, but it's probably different from what people say. But I love the Titanic. That was a explosive movie that held my heart.
Yeah, I totally agree. It is a really tough question to answer. So, what do you want to do in the future, Divine G? Like, what have you got planned? What's next on your list of things to do?
Divine G, number one, and first and foremost, obviously, I'm going to continue fighting this wrongful conviction. As I said, my case is pending in front of the Kings County District Attorney's Office Conviction Review Unit. It's been sitting in there 7 years, and they're just using a litigation tactic called procrastination. So I'm going to continue that fight. That fight is never going to stop. Also, I would definitely love to continue writing. I'm a writer. I have published novels. I have screenplays. In fact, I've been shopping a few screenplays around. I would love to continue that. Obviously, I've been involved in it for a vast portion of my life. Another thing that we're working on is called a Sing Sing Impact Coalition. And through this coalition, what we intend on doing is sharing the mechanisms and the success of RTA through like assisting other individuals or other states or other people wherever they find themselves in on the planet. If they're interested in mimicking and recreating what we did, we would like to share that with the world. And that would be a huge contribution to share with people ways of bringing people together through art and making sure that when people walk out of prison situations, they don't come back. So those are the top 3 things that I'm working on and that I really would love to see. And that's where I'm at now. And I'm gonna keep plugging and striving, kind of like you. You very resilient, Derry. I mean, I really commend you, man. You don't let nothing hold you back, man. And that's a beautiful thing. I love that about you. And I guess that's what brings us together to some sense, because we can identify with each other in that context.
Thanks for the kind words, Divine G. It means a lot. I think our stars have definitely aligned somewhat. So all I've got to say now is good luck for the rest of the award season, and I hope you have a great time when you go out to Los Angeles to the Oscars. I'm sure you're going to have a great time. Keep up the good work, and let's keep in touch.
Keep in touch, man. Give me a call anytime if you need me for whatever. I'm there. I enjoy this whole process. Thank you for having me once again. Appreciate it.
You're most welcome. And for everyone watching, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date with any new videos.
Take care, Derry. Take care. Have a good day.